Alright guys, so let's get started on this. Now this piece actually, which is a tire, actually took me some time to, make. This was the only piece on the car that I had to, make on my own before actually making the video for you guys. So if you're watching this video, I've actually made the tire for this piece. I've actually finished the tire. It's available right now, but it's not, it's in a separate blend file than this one. It was actually very tedious, and in most cases when you're going to be modeling vehicles, the most tedious part is going to be the tires, trying to make it and figuring out where all the threads is. That is, we're going to make a tire with threads. Some people use image textures to make their tires, so they only make everything smooth and then they apply the image textures to it. But that is not going to be our case. We're going to be modeling every single detail on the tire, but it's not going to be this tire. It's going to be an off-road tire. But yeah, let's get started on this. And I can guarantee we're going to finish this whole thing in one video, because it took me over 2 hours to actually, well, close to 2 hours to actually make the tire. But hopefully, since I've done it before, I should be able to use like less than an hour to finish it. But without losing much time, let's just get started on this. So we're not going to be making this tire, like I said. So let's change the image from this to let me see, desktop is on my desktop. So I'm going to put a link in the description for you guys to be able to get the image, which is this one. I got it from Google, so I'll put the link in the description for you guys. Just click it and open it, and you should get access to this image. Just download it and then just use it as I am right now. And yeah, so I actually modeled a first tire. In the very first day. That is the day after the last video I posted. So the reason why I actually haven't been posting video, I haven't posted any videos in the last 2 days, is because I was trying to figure out how to model this tire. It took me quite some time, a lot of time, not just that 2 hours I said, but it took me some time. I tried every single day till today, after the last upload, to actually make this tire, and it was quite tedious. But let me just show you what I had for the first day that I made this. But I'm still not happy with this. Is this tire? Where is it? Let me see. Should be in my backup. So I'm just going to show it to you real quick. I think it's one of these. Yeah, so this is a tire I made in the first day, and I recorded it. I have the sound and everything, but I don't want to give you guys this one. I changed my mind and wanted to make an off-road tire instead. So I want to teach you guys how to make that one instead of this one. So let me just hide that again. It's in my backup, just in case I don't succeed making the second tire. I could use that, but this time I'm sure I'm going to succeed. So let's get started. Enough talking, let's get started. Alright, so first things first, I'm going to get to side view, and I'm going to add in the image. So let me press shift and A. Or first of all, let me take this rim here. Let me go into edit mode. Let me go to vertex select mode. Let me enable this for you guys real quick. There we go, so you can see whatever key I'm pressing. So I'm going to take this edge over here, not the one over here, the one next to it, this one. And then I'm going to take this one as well. And I'm going to press shift and S and choose cursor to select it, so it's in the center like that. Now I'm going to get to side view, and I'm going to add in an image background, and it's going to be the one that I asked you guys to download. That is this one, like that. And once we load it in, let's go to the image panel here, and let's enable use alpha. Let's drop the transparency 2.5 like that. So 0.5. Alright, so we're going to scale this to fit the tire as much. So you can see I'm trying to fit it around the blueprint like that. So I'm going to move this in the y-axis just so it fits into the circle like that. And then once we have that done, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the wheel nuts, the logo and the rim, and I'm going to get to the side view again. Now I'm going to make sure that the pivoting point is set to active element. So I'm going to set it to active element, and with the rim being the active element, we should be able to scale this very proportionally. So I'm going to scale this down to fit the rim size, which is, as you can see in the image that we loaded in right there. I'm going to move it so it falls right on top of it like that. So that is where it needs to be, like that. And I'm going to get to, okay, so let me get to side view. Now I'm going to take this one, and as you can see, the image that we're seeing here, this one is actually smaller than the one on the side here. So we're going to fit this one in there now. So I'm going to move this image in the y-axis to here, to about the center, and I'm going to scale it down until it falls right on top of the blueprint line, both top and bottom, as you can see, like that. So that is good. So I'm going to move it back to the middle like that, and I'm going to rotate this in the z-axis by -90 now. Alright, so I'm going to rotate by -90 like that. So it's on a front view like this, and I want to move it beyond the rim like that, so I have it right there. So you can see that is looking good. Alright, so what we're gonna do next is let me see, we're gonna take the rim and we're gonna take, let me see, we're gonna take the rim and everything else here. Hold on, I'm not trying to scale it. We're gonna take all that, including the image. Then we're gonna go to local view by pressing the division sign on the numpad like that. And now let's go to front view and let's try to fit this in this axis so it falls right here. So I want to make sure it falls right about in the center of it like that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this rim, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into edit mode again, take both of those edges again. I'm going to press Shift and S and choose Keza to select it, and I'm going to get to the front view again, and I'm going to scale this in the x-axis. No, wait, first of all, let's change the pivoting point to 3D Keza like that, and I'm going to scale it in the x-axis so that the end of the rims is right over here at the very hard edge of the tire on both sides, as you can see like that. Alright, so with that done, notice that I only scale it in the x-axis, not any other axis but the x-axis. Just make sure you do that right. Alright, so what we're going to do next is with the Keza still in the middle there, I'm going to press Shift and A, and I want to add in a mesh circle. I'm going to add in a mesh circle. I'm going to go into edit mode. I want to scale this down. Okay, hold on. Maybe I should let me add in a mesh circle again. And I want to drop the number of vertices to 20, like that. And come on. I'm going to go into edit mode. I'm going to scale this down. And I'm going to move it down to here. Let me scale it down some more. Hold on. Let me change the pivoting point back to median point. And let me scale this down some more. And what I want to do is I want to select this, hold on Control and select that. And I'm going to press X and delete the vertices. So I want to take this now and I want to scale it in the Z-axis to this point like that. So I just want it to be slightly above the area we have being the end of the tire over here. So I'm just going to make it slightly above it like that, so you can see what I'm doing right now. And I'm going to take all of the ones here except the one in the middle. Sorry. And I'm going to delete those vertices very nicely. I'm going to take these two as well and delete it. Alright, so you can see what we have going on. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one, I'm going to press G, I'm going to move it somewhere here, take this, and let's take that one. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to press E and then Z, I'm going to pull it up to here, and then pull it very close to the end of the rim, like that. And I'm going to add in, let me add in 4 for now. So I'm going to add in 4 loop cuts here, and I'm going to pull this out to here. I'm going to take this now, pull it out as well to here. I'm going to take this, pull it out to there. I'm going to take this, pull it out to there, like that. So what I'm going to do now, let me pull this out some more, pull them all out some more, like that. And I'm going to take this from here to here. I'm going to click on I'm going to press W and click on loop tools and choose space. So the spaces between them is quite equal, like that. And I'm going to pull this out even some more, like that. So let me just pull this in a little bit. It's too far out. And let me see. Let me pull this out a little bit. Let me pull this in a little bit like that. Now let's add in a subdivision surface on this. So when I add in subdivision surface on level 2, like that. And you can see that is looking good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this and then that one, press W, choose loop tools, and choose space. So the spaces between them is quite equal like that. Alright, so you can see that is looking good. Now what are we going to do? Let me pull these ones out a little bit more. So I'm going to pull them out just a little bit more like that, and I think that is good. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add in a mirror modifier like this, and then I'm going to put the mirror modifier above the subdivision surface and enable clipping, just so the middle here doesn't move at all when we try to move it like that. Alright, so we're going to see if this is what we're actually going for. We're going to see if this is the tire we're going for. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one, get onto the side, and I'm going to press spacebar and search for spin. So I'm going to type in spin and select the spin tool right here. Let's bring this up and let's increase the angle to 360, and let's increase the steps to something like 60. And now let's see how this looks. Let's see if this is the tire we're going for. So I'm going to press A and then recalculate this, and I'm going to get out of edit mode and choose shade smooth. So I think that is what we're going for. As you can see, it's looking really good. Hopefully you also had it right. As you can see, it's looking good. I think this is what we're going for. So I'm gonna undo all that now. I'm gonna undo all what we did. It's gonna take a while, and there we go. So I just undid everything, and I'm gonna move back over here. Sorry about that noise. I'm gonna add in a loop cut over here. I'm gonna press G twice. I'm gonna move it here, and I'm gonna pull this one out, and then a little bit into the rim, like that. So you can see it's more into the rim. Let me pull it in some more. And I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna pull it in here like this. Okay, so that it's flat over there. And I'm gonna pull this in a little bit as well, like that. I'm gonna press G and then move this up. Press Ctrl and R here. Let's move very close to this. Press Ctrl and R here. Let's move that very close to this as well. Alright, so that should actually add some kind of entry point in that area. So let me show you what I mean by applying a spin tool again. So I'm gonna press space and select spin. So I'm gonna change this to 360 again, the angle to 360, and you can see what I'm talking about right here. So it's not falling in enough, so we're gonna have to pull this out a little bit to make it fall in some more. Now let me see. So let's press Ctrl Z and let's see how we're gonna do this. So let me get onto the front view and let's see how we're gonna do this. Alright, so I'm gonna get rid of all of those ones and I'm gonna pull this here outwards. I'm gonna pull it outwards instead, and let me pull it up a little bit as well, very close to it like that. And I'm gonna pull this in some more like that. And let me just take this, pull it out just a little bit more. I'm gonna take this, let me pull this out a little bit more like that. And let me press Ctrl and R here, add in a loop cut very close to it like that, and add one also close to this, and that should be quite good, I think. Yeah, let's try that again. So I want to get to the side. Let's activate the spin 360. Let's see how that looks. So yeah, I think that is what I was going for. As you can see, that is exactly what I was going for. It's looking like what we have in the reference image, and I think we can see that even more if I enable the shade smooths. Yeah, so look, you can see that is what I was going for. Very nice. So let's undo all that. Now we have this being perfect. Let me just undo all that. Come on. Alright, there we go. So I'm going to get to this side now, and I'm going to change the pivoting point to 3D cursor. I'm going to press Shift and D to duplicate it, and then right click to keep it in place, and I'm going to press R, hold on Control, and let's rotate this 90 degrees. So we have one still here, but we also have this one. Alright, so after rotating this 90 degrees, what we're going to do now is we're going to take all of this, press G and then Z, and then move it down here. I'm going to press E and then Z, and extrude this all the way up here. So I'm going to press Ctrl and R, and put this here, Ctrl and R, and I'm going to put this here. So just add in loop cuts on the ends like that. And then what we're going to do next is we're going to get out of edit mode, click on object, and select shade smooths like that. Alright, so that is looking great. That's looking good. Now all I want to do is let me take all of this and press Shift and N to recalculate the normals. Not that it is necessary, but you know. So let's take this one out. Let's hide this. Let's hide this piece now. Now let's take this. Let's get to the front view. I'm gonna go into edit mode now, and I want to take first of all, let's get to object mode. I'm gonna take all of this, press Shift and D, and then duplicate it. And I'm gonna scale this up just so it reaches the bottom, the very bottom over here like that. So I'm gonna press S and scale it up some more, so it's right at the bottom like that. Now I'm gonna go into edit mode, and what I want to do now is let me change the pivoting point to median point. I'm going to move this down here. I think it's pretty close to that area already. That is good. So I'm going to take this one and move it here, pretty close to that area. I'm going to move this out to here. Take this and I'm going to move it out to here. I'm going to take this, move it all the way out to about here. Well, let me pull it to this point. Let me take this, or all of those, and I'm going to move them out to here, like this. Now I just need to move these ones in a little bit. Just move these in a little bit. Just going to pull them in a little bit, and I think that is good. Let me just pull it in a little bit more, and yeah, that is good. Like this. Let me pull this out a little bit, pull this out a little bit, and we should be good. Alright, so I'm going to get on down here. I'm going to press Ctrl and R3 here, press G twice, and I'll move it all the way here. Press Ctrl and R3 here, press G twice, and move that all the way here. So you can see that that area is quite sharp, just like we have in the reference image right now. Let me just separate it up just a little bit more, like that. Alright, so that is looking great. Now what I want to do is I want to take this one as well, and press period, and let's change the pivoting point to 3D cursor again. I'm going to get to the side view, press Shift and D again to duplicate it, press R, hold on Control, let's rotate this another 90 degrees, and let's go into edit mode, take everything, press G and then Z, pull it down here, press E and then Z, extrude this all the way up here. Now let's add in supporting loop cuts, both top and bottom, like that. And again, we're going to click on object and select shade smooth, like that. Alright, so that is looking good. Now what we're going to do next is to add in the threads now. So that is what we're going to create next. Let's press Alt+H to bring everything out, and you can see what we have so far. That is looking good. Now I'm just gonna, let's recalculate the normals for this one. Shift and N to recalculate the normals like that. Alright, so let's hide this. Let's hide all of them, including this one. And let's go over to the front view. So what I'm going to do now is to press, let's hide these ones as well, except for the image, like that. And I'm going to press Shift and A and add in a mesh plane. So when I go into edit mode, press X and choose edge collapse. So we have only a single vertex in the middle like that. Alright, so I'm going to press G and I want to move that vertex all the way here, like this. I'm going to press E and extrude this all the way here. Press E, extrude that all the way here. I'm going to press E, extrude this all the way here. So I'm just going to be extruding things around here just to trace the whole image, the whole thread that we have going on. Over here I'm just going to select these two and press F to fill in the space. I'm going to take these two and press Shift and D. I'm going to move it over here. Take this, press E, extrude that all the way here. Take this, press E all the way here, and then press E again, extrude that all the way here. I want to take these two, press S and then X. Now let me change the pivoting point back to median point, S and then X, and type in 0, so they're flat like that. And I'm going to press F to fill the face. Alright, so with that I'm going to press Ctrl and R here, and move it all the way here. Let me just press G and then move it quite close, like that. And that should be good. So I want to take these two, press F twice. I want to take these two and press F twice. So I'm going to go to the one below as well. So I'm going to take these two, press Shift and D, and then move it in the Z axis all the way here. I want to take this, move it up to here, take this, move it down to here, like that. Now I want to take this, press E, extrude it all the way to this point. I want to take this, press E, extrude it all the way to here. I want to press E, and then extrude it all the way to here. I want to take these two and press F. I'm going to press Ctrl and R3 here, add one vertex right over there. I'm going to take these two, press Shift and D, move that all the way here. Take this, press G, move it all the way down here. I'm going to press E and then X, extrude it all the way here. Take this, E and then X, extrude that all the way here. I'm going to press E, extrude this all the way here. E and then Z, extrude this all the way here. Take these two and press F, like that. So now I'm going to take these two and press F twice. Take these two and press F twice, like that. So I'm going to add Control. I'm going to press Control and R, add in two loop cuts over here. And I'm going to add in two over here and two over here. I'm going to add in two in here as well, and maybe two more in here as well. I'm going to add two here, and I'm going to add, just one here, like that. I'm going to press Ctrl and R in here, add in two over here, and add in two there, and add in two here, and add in two over here as well. Alright, so that is looking great. So let's select everything, press Shift and N to recalculate the normals, and let's press Alt+H to bring everything back. So I want to take this one, that is the thread, and I want to move it in the Y-axis all the way here. Let me get onto the front view. You can see we have the thread offsetted just a little bit over here, so we're going to scale this in a little bit to fall on that area. So we're going to go into edit mode, and I want to begin with this. So I'm going to take all of these and make sure this is the active element. I'm going to change the pivoting point to active element, and I'm going to press S and then X until it falls right on the edge like that. And I'm going to do the same with this. Take all of this, make sure the one on the side here is one of the active elements like that, and then press S and then X, and then scale this also to fall over there like that. Now I'm going to take both of these. Let me press S and then X and type in 0, so they're flat just like that, and that is looking good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to select everything. Let me change the snapping element to face, and make sure project individual elements is enabled, and let's press G and let's hold Control and press enter so that it snaps onto the surface like that. Once you have that done, just change that back to increment like that. Alright, so with that done, what we're going to do now is we're going to take this and we are going to hide it like that. And now the big work starts, creating the actual threads. So what I'm going to do now is, let me see, I'm going to go in here, I'm going to take this one first. Let me go to front view and see what we have. So I'm going to take that one first. I'm going to go over to top view into wireframe, and this is what we have. This is the main tire, the area inside the thread where this threads meet down there. So that is what we're going to use to trace this part all around. So this one that we have selected, this piece that we have selected, if you take a look at the image here, over here on the side is very straight, and then we have a square one over here that extrudes out, and in this image that would be this one over here, these ones here. So those are the ones we're going to create first. So let's go over to the top view and let's get into wireframe. So I want to press E and I want to extrude this all the way here, keeping in mind that we are going to have to end everything around the center of the side of the of the side wall of the tire. So if we're looking at this, the side wall of the tire is over here, so the center should be somewhere around here. So we should be ending somewhere around here. So we're going to click here to bring the 3D cursor there, so as to remind us not to go beyond that area. So I'm going to press G. I'm going to move this down to about, I don't know, to about here. Let me bring it to about here, like this. So I'm going to keep it around here like this, over here, and let me see. I don't know if I should bring it down a little bit more. Let's bring it down a little bit more to about here. Let's take a look at that. Alright, so that is looking good. It's looking good. Let me get to the top view again, wireframe. Let me just press G and move it down just a little bit more. So yeah, that is looking good. Alright, good. So what we're going to do next is, let me get to the top view now. I'm going to create the area for the square as well. Let me get into wireframe. I'm going to press E, and I'm going to extrude this all the way to about here. So I think that should be about a square, or not yet. Let's move it a little bit more. So press G, and let's move that out to there. And just move it in the x-axis a little bit. Let's take a look. Alright, so I think that is good. I'm just going to move it in the y-axis just a little bit more. Let's change the pivoting point to median point, like that. And that is looking great. Alright, so let's get over to the top view and let me see. What else do we need? Alright, I'm going to press Ctrl and R3 here, and I'm going to add in 3 loop cuts over here. Let me get to this side. And I'm going to change the orientation to normal, like this, just so we can have the arrow here to pull this in the right direction, like that. So I'm going to go into wireframe. I'm going to pull this out, so we have it being sort of rounded, like this. So I'm going to pull this out to here, and I'm going to get rid of these ones so we have only the middle one there. And I want to pull that one out a little bit as well. Alright. So I want to do the same thing here as well. I'm going to add in 2 this time. I want to get over here. I'm going to pull it out like that, just so it's kind of rounded like that. So with that done, I'm going to change the orientation back to, where is it? Orientation back to global. Let me save this over real quick. And what I'm going to do next is, I think, let me see. What are we going to do next? Let's create the one for the, let's create the one below as well. So let's go into edit mode. We're going to take all of these. Let's go over to the top view. And I want to create the one for this one as well. So taking a look at this, you can also see with the image over here we're seeing, we can see that it kind of dips in like this and cut out like that. So that is what we're going to create next. But before we do that, let me get over to this one again. Okay, so I want to take all of these. Let's go into edge select mode. Oh, let's just keep it there. And let's take all of this. Let's get onto the side. And I want to press E, S, and then Z. I want to scale this, extrude this, and scale it in the Z axis like that. And I'm going to take, let me see. First off, let me dissolve these edges again. So I want to dissolve them again. And I want to take these two, press S and then Z. And I want to scale it down to there, like that. Okay, so that is what it looks like over here, as you can see in the reference image, like that. So what I'm going to do is, let me take these two. Let me press S and then Z and scale them down just so as to match that one a little bit more, like that. Alright, so that is looking good. Now I'm going to add in those two now. And let's go over to the top again. Let's change the orientation to normal again, just so we can pull this out like this. And let's change it back to global, like that. Alright, so that is looking great, just the way we want it to. Alright, now we're going to move on to this one. Let's go over to the top. And as I was saying, you can see over here, it kind of looks like it's cut out. And there's a slight edge over here. We're going to ignore that one. We're not going to make it. So we're just going to get rid of that. So let's go into edit mode. And what I want to do is, taking a look at this, the dip, where the thing cuts out, it moved from there all the way to here. And it's about in the middle of the first extension of the first thread that we made. If you take a look here, you can see it ends around here. And it's in the middle of this one right here. So if this is our extension for the first one, it should end somewhere in the middle here. So I'm going to press E, and I'm going to extrude that all the way to about somewhere here, like this. So let me see, maybe meet with this edge over here, like this, and that should be good, like that. As you can see, it's a square, just the way we want it to. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add in two loop cuts in the middle here. Let me change the orientation to normal, and let's go over to the top view, and we're going to pull this in, watching where it ends. We're going to pull it in like that to create the dip that we need, like that. So you can see what we have going on, looking good. That is looking great. Let me get over into wireframe. Let me pull it in some more. Let me pull it in the y-axis a little bit like that. Alright, so now I'm going to take that edge again. Let's go over to the top view. Now what do we have next? Taking a look at this, after that dip, we have it extruding all the way down. As you can see here, it pulls down, it extrudes down a little bit more, like that. As you can see here, extrudes down a little bit more like that to about the middle of the second extension of this first thread that we created. So I'm going to press E and I'm going to extrude this. I think that is about this area. So I'm going to extrude this all the way to about here, like this, like that. And let me see. Maybe I should take all of these. Let me take all of these as well. And let's pull them here in this axis. Let's pull them until it's flat over here. Let me deselect this one. Let me pull this in till it's flat over here. And let's dissolve this once again. Let's add it in again, like this. Let me go over to the top view and let's pull this in like that. So pretty close to that area, like this. And let me move it in the y-axis to about this point. And that should be good. Alright, so that is looking great. Now I'm going to take this one now. As you can see, it ends around the middle of this one, but we have a little bit of space over there, so we need to compensate for that one as well. So I'm going to end it over there. I'm going to go over to the top view. Let me just pull it a little bit out like that. I'm going to press Shift and D. I'm going to move this to about this point. Let's see if that is good enough for space, and I think it is. So let's go over to the top view now, and I'm going to extrude this just a little bit beyond this one. As you can see in the reference image, that is what it is. I'm going to press G and then move it just a little bit beyond it, like this. Let me move this in a little bit to about this point, and you can see it's slightly beyond it, not too beyond it. So I'm going to move it back in to about this point, like that, and that should be good. Let me take a look. Pull it in just a little bit more. Alright, that is looking good. That is looking very good. Okay, so we've created all that now. Now what we're going to do is, let me select everything, press Shift and N to recalculate the normals. Now what I want to do next is I'm going to take all of these and all of that, just these ones here. Let me change the orientation back to global. Let me get to the top view, get into wireframe, and I'm going to press E and extrude this all the way to just slightly beyond the thread. I mean the surface we have going on here in the wireframe, that line we have going on, just slightly beyond it. And I'm going to press X and delete the faces, like that. So we have it sitting right there. So with that done, what we're going to do now is we're going to take this one as well. Let me see. Let me take it from, okay, so let's take everything, and let me see, if we press E, okay, so that is not the right direction. So what we're going to do is let's undo that, and let's take it from here, I don't know, to, so you can see all the way to here. Let's take all of these ones, and let's press E and then Y. Let's extrude this in the y-axis all the way to about here, like this. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this, press G twice, I'm going to slide it all the way here. And I'm going to do the same thing here, press G twice, slide it all the way here. So just so this one is diagonal, like that. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take this one as well to this point, all the way around it. That's what I mean, like that. So you can see what I'm doing. I'm selecting all of these. Alright, so with those ones taken, we're going to press E and then X. We're going to extrude this all the way in the X-axis to this point. And we're going to move it in the Y-axis until these ones here are quite straight, like that. As you can see, they're quite straight, just the way we want them. And what I'm going to do next is, after they're straight like that, let's go over to this point. We're going to take all of these ones, and I want to move them in the y-axis. As you can see in the reference image, they pull out a little bit like a slide. So I'm going to move that in the y-axis just so it looks more like that. And let me just press G twice and slide this out to very close to the surface, like that. And let me go into wireframe. I'm going to take this one next. I'm going to slide it out quite close to the surface as well, like that. And I'm going to take that one next. As you can see, press G twice, bring it to the surface like that. And next I'm going to take this, press G twice, let's pull it to the surface. Then this one next, G twice, pull it to the surface. Then that one next, let me see, G twice, let's pull it to the surface like that. And let me see, the one next to it over here as well, G twice, let's pull it to the surface like that. And let's go over here and let's see this one as well, let's pull it to the surface. So I'm basically just pulling all of the vertices close to the surface because we're going to be using shrink wrap. And when you're using shrink wrapping and these vertices are quite far from the surface you're shrink wrapping it on, it can cause some problems. So that is why I'm trying to pull them very close to the surface before I do this. Now let me take this, I'm going to press G twice and slide it here. And let me just move it in the x-axis so it meets the surface like that. And I'm going to move this in the x and then in the y, a little bit more in the x. I'm going to do the same thing down here. Just press G twice, slide it all the way here. I'll move it in the x and then in the y and then in the x and the y till it meets it over there. I'm going to do the same thing here and do the same thing here. Let me just press G twice and slide it out like that. Alright, so I'm going to take these two now and press F. Sorry, I'm going to press F and I'm going to take these two and press F like that. So you can see what we have going on. And just take this one now, I'm going to move it in the y and then in the x like that. Let me take this, move it in the y and then a little bit in the x like that, and that should be looking good. Alright, so pretty much going to do the same thing with the one below. I'm going to extrude things around just like we did with the others. I'm going to begin with this from here all the way to here, and then to here. Now I'm going to press E and then Y and extrude this all the way to the surface like that. And I'm going to take these two, this one and the one below, and I want to press G twice. I want to move this back to about this point, and I'm going to take the one next to it, which is these two though. I'm going to press G twice and move it back as well to about this point, and now the one next to those, like that. I'm going to press G twice and move it to about the middle, like that, and that should be good. I'm going to keep that one just there like that, and let me keep this one rather in the middle. So let's not move those ones at all. And now let's move on to the side. We're going to take all of these as well. I'm going to do quite the same thing. E and then X and like that. And I'm just going to move this in the Y axis until it is straight on this side. Like that. And let me move it in the X, in the Y, in the Y, in the X, and in the Y. Just like that. Let me move it in the X a little bit. And then in the Y a little bit. So it is straight like that, as you can see. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to take that. I'm going to press G twice and move it. Let me see. Okay, let me move it in the X and then in the Y a little bit like that. And I think that is good. Now let's press Ctrl and R through here and let's add into, let's change the orientation to normal. And let's pull this out just a little bit just to make it a little rounded like that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this vertex and that vertex and I'm going to press F. I want to add in 2 in the middle like that. And let me see, let me change the orientation back to global. And let's move this in the y-axis and then in the x-axis like that, very close to the surface. And I want to do the same thing below. Press F, get into wireframe, add in 2 here, and I'm going to move this in the x so it shows a little bit like that. I'm going to move it in the y, let me move it in the x some more, just like that. Let me move it in the x and then the y. Let me move it in the x. Okay. Alright, so that is good. Now I'm going to take these two and press F till it fills all the way to there. And I'm going to do the same thing here, press F till it fills all the way to there. Alright, so that finishes the first part. Now we're going to do the same with this. I'm going to press E and then extrude this all the way to the surface like that. Press X and let's delete the faces. Now I'm going to take the edge over here, this very edge here. I'm going to move it in the y-axis all the way to this point, just slightly beyond the one above it like that, but it should be kind of like the same angle like that, as you can see. You just move it here, move this in the y-axis a little bit in, and it should be about the same angle as the one above it. And as you can see, that is looking good. Alright, very nice. That's looking good. Okay, so let's take everything and press Shift and N to recalculate the normals again. And this is where I'm going to end the very first part of the video. I'm going to do the rest and then post up the videos. Hopefully it's only 3 parts, but I bet the maximum will be only 5 parts. Let's hope we don't get out to 5 parts, and we are able to finish this in just 3 parts or slightly more. Alright, so I will see you guys in the next video.